Thank you for joining me on Legislative Update. I'm your State Representative Norm Johnson. The gang problem is a growing threat in our neighborhoods. Graffiti defaces homes and buildings. Thugs are wearing their gang colors and flashing their gang signs. Bullets fly indiscriminately from the windows of cars, and just this past weekend a Yakima man is shot and dies of his wounds. Drugs, alcohol, and theft are rampant. Intimidation is the rule, not the exception, and people are scared. Last December, more than a month before the 60th day legislative session began, Representative Charles Ross and I pre-filed several bills to take action against criminal gangs in communities across our state. We were determined and hopeful to provide additional tools that would help law enforcement fight the gang problem plaguing our neighborhoods. Our bills sought to allow seizure of assets of convicted gang members. They would also have allowed civil injunctions to be filed against gangs. And House Bill 2414 would have classed criminal gang activity as a nuisance and provided a process for neighbors to file legal action to stop that activity. Many people came to Olympia from the 14th District pleading with committee members to pass our legislation. We heard story after story of how people were afraid to go outside their homes, of how they had ducked bullets, and of how young people are being recruited into this dead-end life, and we heard about people being shot and killed. Although the seizure bill did not make it out of committee, Representative Ross's civil injunction bill and my criminal nuisance legislation advanced to the House floor. There we combined both bills into House Bill 2414, which made this even stronger legislation against criminal gangs. Unfortunately, when the bill passed from the Senate Government Operations Committee, the injunction language written by Representative Ross had been stripped. Nevertheless, we were undeterred. Senator King had planned to add the injunction language back into the bill once it came to the Senate floor for a vote. Unfortunately, it didn't get that far. Politics got in the way. A couple of uninformed senators mistakenly thought this legislation would allow seizure of a parent's home who didn't know that their child living with them is involved in criminal gangs. They also felt it involved racial profiling, which is nonsense. So instead of working with me to address those concerns, they stopped the bill and it died in the Senate. So to say I'm disappointed is an understatement, especially because I worry about our community and other communities in our state where people live in fear from gangs. We need to take back our neighborhoods. We need to lock up the criminals. We need to clean up our neighborhoods. We need to take back our communities. And we need to send a strong message that gang activity and its associated criminal element will not be tolerated in the state of Washington. I will not give up on this fight because it is too important for the protection of our families and of our young people. As this is the last legislative video update of the 2010 session, I want to say thanks to you, all of you, who contacted my office during the session. Your calls, letters, emails, and personal visits were valuable to me and essential to our process of lawmaking. Remember that I work for you throughout the year, so always feel free to contact my office. You'll find my phone number on the screen. Thank you again for joining me on Legislative Update. I'm your State Representative, Norm Johnson.